Today on How to Drink, I get to the bottom of the big question, the most important question of all time. What the f*** was in Belloq's family label? We're in Egypt. Marion is held captive by Belloq, rival archaeologist to Indiana Jones, and they're drinking from this bottle of alcohol. She asks,
"What is this stuff, René?"
I grew up with this. It's my family label.
Now he's French, and I, kind of ingesting this movie and kind of memorizing so much of it by heart, kind of rationalized years later that, well, obviously it must be a Grappas from his family's vineyard. It must be a distillate of the cast-off parts that they couldn't use for making wine, turned into a clear, high-proof spirit. But according to toy and prop masters, the bottle's label isn't written in French, it's written in Arabic. They're right, it's written in Arabic. Toy and Prop Master sells a replica of the bottle. Turns out the bottle in question is a real thing. I'm gonna have to apologize for my really bad Arabic now, but it's Boukha Bohabska, which is spirit from North Africa, specifically Tunisia in this case, that is a eau de vie. It's a distillate from figs, seasoned with a little bit of anise. So that label, apparently in Arabic, according to Toy and Prop Masters, says Boukha Bohabska, the family label. Like that's the bottling, like that's the brand, that's like the issue from the distillery. And so according to them, when he says it's my family label, okay, what he's actually doing is actualing her with the lamest, drunkest nerd joke. It's my family label. And it goes over everybody's head, her head, my head, the audience's head, everybody's head. Now that's what they say. Now, I've watched that scene a couple times since reading that, and I think that might be true, that he's making that joke. I also think that there's another possibility, because he says I grew up on this stuff, which goes beyond the realm of a joke. To me, I don't know, it's just me. Because if you think about it, North Africa is a colonial holding of the French, right? So it's French colonies. Is Belloq actually a North African Frenchman? Is Belloq not only a North African Frenchman, but a Jew? Because it would be Jewish people who would be making this, not Muslims. They don't distill alcohol typically. It's kind of forbidden, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that they don't get to do that. And if you look at Boukha Bohabska, you'll see that it's listed as kosher. So this is actually a spirit that is largely enjoyed by North African Jews. And I think that if you look at this scene, there is so much more, because now, not only is he an unscrupulous,
there is nothing you can possess which I cannot take away,
cheater of an archaeologist who's willing to work with the Nazis to get what he wants, he's also a Jew who's willing to work with the Nazis to get what he wants.
Archaeology is our religion.
Or maybe what the answer here is that like he's Vichy France, and he's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and he takes delight in savoring the kind of forbidden fruit that the Nazis would kind of look down upon. Like he likes to flaunt the fact that they need him, so he can drink this Jewish liquor without them being able to do much about it because they're stuck with him. So what is Boukha Bohabska? Well, it's a fig brandy from Tunisia specifically. I found out that there is a brand, Mahia. Mahia has been distilled for centuries throughout Morocco. The recipe, handed down across countless generations, was presumed to have been lost, but one man from the remote Moroccan village of Tanznacht? Man, these triphthongs. Saved it and now distills Mahia in small, handcrafted batches in the US, actually in New York. This is as close to the Boukha Bohabska as I could get. That's not to say that you can't get that anymore. You can get it. I just couldn't get it locally in time to shoot for the show. I'm sorry, guys, I'm not wearing a white French Chanel dress. Maybe next time.
Beautiful.
I would very much like to see you wear it. It's like he really nailed that. Like, it was like a very much like a, you don't get to pick. What a delightful spirit. It is pretty unlike anything I've ever had. It has I mean, you taste figs. It just tastes like figs. So in America, we don't eat a lot of figs, to be honest. I love a good fig. Americans' most common association with figs is something called the fig Newton. For my European friends, it is, well, it's not a cookie, it's fruit and cake, actually. And so what I get is that, but much, 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 much less sweet, because this is not jam, this is distilled spirit. There's no sugar left, right? So you definitely get fig all the way through. Let's go in for one more. It's wonderful. It's cool to the lips and very, very figgy, very, very fruity, very, very vaporous, very, very ethereal. It really kind of opens up and activates your sinuses. It's got that kind of a little bit of fire to it. I mean, this is 80 proof spirits. It's not like, this is not a liqueur, it's a spirit. So if you get yourself a bottle, you'll have that one in your arsenal. I'm gonna make something a little bit different that I call Family Label. It's an original drink that I came up with last fucking night. It features some of the citrus that would be common there, namely these clementines. We're gonna start with an ounce of Clementine juice. So we have an ounce of our Clementine juice. Into my shaker it goes. I want 1/2 ounce orgeat. Again, staying in that North Africa thing. Almonds. And now I need 1/2 ounce of Quina Liero d'Or. Now, this is some really neat stuff. This is from Tempus Fugit. This is a aperitif, sort of an aromatic wine. That is got quinine in it. And if you're ever wanted to make a Vesper Martini, unlike me, and you wanted to do it the right way, because I have a Vesper Martini video that I'm not super happy with, the link is right below. You should watch it whether I like it or not, because I need the engagement numbers, guys. This is as close to Quina Lillet as you can get on the market today. Quina Lillet is not Lillet Blanc. Lillet Blanc is a different thing. It's a fortified aromatic wine. It is on the sweeter end of the spectrum. It does not have quinine in it, which is the key ingredient of a quina, like tonic water. Like tonic is based on quinine. So this has a vibe like tonic. And I want 1/2 ounce. Quina Liero d'Or. It is unique and wonderful to have in your bar. And now I want a 2 ounce pour of Mahia.
Just want to let you guys know that all of my barware is provided courtesy of Barfly. If you like the stuff I'm using, check it out.
There we go, 2 ounces. I'm gonna shake my drink now. I'm gonna do it with 1 big cube and 1 cracked cube. Doesn't take big swings to make that work. Just little taps, tappa, tappa, tappa.
Tappa, tappa, tappa.
I'm gonna double strain this drink in this case because I saw quite a bit of my clementine pulp kind of wind up in there, and I just wanna make sure that we get the cleanest drink we can. For a garnish, I think one of these candied orange wheels would be an excellent choice. And that's a simple thing to do, is put a little cut in one side of it and put it there. You can make these yourself or you can buy them at Trader Joe's. There we have the Family Label drink I made while thinking about Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Belloq and his supposed family label. Oh man, is that fun. It is just mellow, fig sweet, with just really well balanced kind of 2 flavors at one time thing from the clementine with, and that gives way to a lingering bitterness like you would expect from like a gin and tonic because of the quinine. So it's in that vein. It's very refreshing and pleasant. Oh, what a woodsy kind of orchard flavor you just get there. Man, that is cool. A little bit of tartness. I wouldn't say it's super tart. Certainly not like a lemon or anything like that. Just an enjoyable, tasty, I would say fruit forward without being cloyingly sweet kind of drink. So let's talk about Indiana Jones for just a teeny tiny minute now. Teensy tiny minute. There's a story about how, Indy was supposed to fight the guy with the giant scimitar. You know, that's like the thing you always hear, and that Harrison Ford wasn't feeling well that day, and that instead of this huge choreographed fight scene, they just had him pull out his gun, rat-a-tat-tat, and solve that problem right there in the street. I think that story is bullshit.
I told George when I first accepted the project, I said, I'll do the movie, but I'm going to shoot it real fast.
If you watch the special features, and by special features I mean home movies made by somebody's kid on set, people are like, so then you do this, you crack him with the whip and you punch him in the fist, and at every time Harrison Ford, like, you know, this is like cool as a cucumber, is asking the fight coordinator and stunt director, like, yeah, but I have a gun, right? Like, why don't I just shoot him? And it's not like for camera, because this is before special features. He's just genuinely like, give me a motivation here, boss. Like, but why don't I? And the story's like, well, you know, Indiana Jones, he's a sporting guy. He's not. I'm playing him. He's not that guy. He would just shoot him. I would just shoot him. And so I think he was fighting to shoot somebody in the face that whole movie, and finally won. He finally got to say, I know, you know, which is another thing that he fought for on Empire Strikes Back. Harrison Ford fought tooth and nail to not say I love you, and also to not come back for Return of the Jedi, but they just offered him so much daggone money he couldn't say no, and he said, I don't give a shit anymore.
I can't see.
Your eyesight will return in time.
But yeah, he didn't want to come back for Return of the Jedi. We're totally off subject, because he thought his character's arc was done. He thought there was nothing left for him to do. Kind of right. So I think that this whole thing about him like having like eaten something bad and being not feeling well and just wanting to shoot the guy, I mean, maybe that's what people said after the fact. Maybe that's what Harrison said on set to get his way. But I think if you watch those special features, it's pretty obvious that like he didn't want Indiana Jones to fight anybody. He just thought it didn't make any sense for this guy with a gun to get into fistfights, and you know, kind of doesn't actually. I will say this, like, when I was looking into the Belloq character, there's all this backstory and stuff that has nothing to do with what I inferred from the bottle that he was drinking on the set. All of that backstory was developed for novelizations and for expanded stuff that happened afterwards. Crystal Skull, the novelization of the film, Indiana Jones novel series, like, none of that is in the movie. And I think that what I touched upon with that choice of spirit and the two kind of things that could mean about his character is probably true to what was in the script, what was in the characters and or in the actors' heads, what was in the prop department, what was in the writer's head, the director, on the set at that time. Obviously, they did, you know, licensed novelizations and things changed. So if you look into Belloq, you won't find anything about him being from North Africa or being Jewish. I think that they were distinctly possible at the moment of filming, and that, you know, that was in that moment, and things have changed. So I think I answered the question, what are Marion and Belloq drinking in the tent in the desert? And it's not Grappa, it's Mahia. It's fig brandy. So that's how to drink the show. I'm making cocktails and how to drink them. And today I made a family label well, because of Belloq. I don't want to honor that guy. That guy sucks. And if you like the show, I hope you'll subscribe. And I hope that you will follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And if you subscribe, I hope you will join the bell gang, as the kids are apparently saying, and ring a ding dang dong, that bell. So the ladies of Indiana Jones' life, right? You've got Marion. You've got, in the prequel, Temple of Doom, I don't know her name.
I'm not that kind of girl! Hey, Dr. Jones, no time for love!
And, Elsa.
She's one of them.
Andy, please.
She's a Nazi.
Well, Elsa's a Nazi, you know, so screw that. I mean, I don't know, I think between them, Marion Ravenwood. She can drink, she can party, she can throw down, she's friends with monkeys. What's on the Last Crusade? So, and that's another Indiana Jones thing. Temple of Doom is a prequel. Did they invent the prequel? I don't know.